My name is Amanda Gala, and for this August month, we have a series aptly titled In Her Honor, Stories from the Other Side, where we've invited phenomenal men to share how the women in their lives and careers have shaped who they are for reflection and celebration. And today, I have the honor of having Mr. Moses Mbedhli, who is the General Manager, Internal Audit at the South African Social Security Agency, and the otherwise known as SASSA, under the theme Influence and Impact. He'll help us explore how the often quiet strength, the sharp minds, and intuitive brilliance of women have left a lasting impression in the boardrooms that he has sat in, or even the audit files that he has reviewed or worked on. Welcome, Mr. Mbedhli.
Thank you very, very much, Amanda. Allow me to take this honor as well and to say to you and your colleagues and all the women in the country, just to wish them a happy Women's Month. And I hope this is going to be one of the great Women's Month in the history. I'm hoping that the issues of GBV violence will be something that we don't read about. But otherwise, looking forward, and I'm excited to be part of this platform, to be able to share my experience and all those good things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We certainly don't want to hear about any GBVF incidents at any month or in any given month. I'm sure you share that with me. But let's go back to the topic. Can you share a story with us of a woman who has significantly influenced your career, leadership style, and who has had a lasting impact on you? I want you to think back at the start of your career, if you can recall a moment or any aspect of your career where a woman has impacted you, influenced your career leadership style.
Yeah, I think this one, as someone that grew up being very naughty and playful, it's easy because I can easily identify people that were important in my life. And please do allow me to respond in threefold, so I don't get in trouble with any one of them. As I reflect on my journey, the first person basically will have to be my mother, in terms of the values and principles that she installed in me.
Okay.
My mother also believed in the value of investment in education, because she really pushed that I go to tertiary so that I can study and obtain my qualification. Being a general worker as she was, I think she understood the value and the importance of the education on how we can unlock the opportunities. For them. And secondly, Mrs. Mbedhli, my wife. I think in this one, I consider myself to be blessed for taking care of my kids, for looking after the family business, for looking after the household responsibilities, because I don't have to worry about anything at home, because I know she's there. We've got a solid foundation and so forth. So really, I always say my wife's kind of sacrificed her career for my career. So I'm very grateful for that. And I just want to say thank you very much, my love. And lastly, Amanda, I think my mentor, Mrs. Mapule Mutaung, she got it. I think now she's Mrs. Khadebe. She believed in me, Amanda, like you won't believe. She believed in me. She was one of the people that really gave me the opportunity and gave me the chance at the pinnacle of my career. I don't think I would have been here if it was not of her believing in me, without even knowing me from the bar of soap. But she saw me, I don't know what she saw, because I was very playful and naughty. But let me reflect a bit so that you can have an appreciation
Okay.
When I say I used to be naughty and all those things, in terms of the impact that she had on my life, Amanda, I remember vividly. We were supposed to do an opening meeting with the client. I was still working for the Eastern Cape office of the Premier. The internal audit was centralized. So she was the CAE basically. And we had to go and socialize the internal audit plan. It was at the beginning of the year in terms of financial year. So it was a Friday. And I remember it was one of those days where you dress down on Friday. So I rocked up with my Springbok shirt and look baggy jeans and basically techies and all those things. You know, Mapule gave me this look until today. Gave me this look. She's like, Moses, Oyagai, Moses, are you going to the same meeting with me with management? So you can imagine, Amanda, like, I don't even remember how she accepted that I go with her to the meeting. But I think from that day, Amanda, I understood the principle of dressing how you want to be addressed. Dressing how you want to be addressed. Since that day, I made sure that I'm presentable on how I look every day at work. So basically, this is the values that she installed in me. You know, always looking and feeling your best and be presentable to the auditee. I think that goes a long way. It's one of the best branding you can ever be taught. Yeah. Thanks.
You're bringing up important issues, Mr. Mbedhli. You spoke about your mother being an instiller of the importance of education as a foundation. And then you spoke about your wife so lovingly, a viewer who made sacrifices for you. And then you mentioned your mentor who gave you a lesson that you were saying even today. In effect, it's a lesson in branding. How do you want to be seen? Am I correct to sum it up? You all these women, you talking about them being supportive of you, and they have made the men that you are today. Now, if we removed the women from your story, whether it's at home, your mom, or home, at your wife, in the workplace, in the community, what would be missing from men that we see today? How has the presence of women in your professional environment especially shaped your perspective, whether it's on collaboration, branding, as you're saying, innovation, or decision making?
Yeah. So maybe I'll probably not be a good bet. I am today if you are to remove one puzzle in terms of my wife. I think from my mother, I will definitely lack discipline, respect in generally. I think I come from the humble beginnings, and the concept of being humble, being human, was instilled by my mother. So I think to me those are very critical, because if you got such a good foundation, Amanda, then you are able to respect your colleagues. If you are a manager, you are able to deal with your colleagues in the most respectable manner, whether they are male, female, younger or older than you. So those are the values that you get from women, or at least I got from whether it's my home, because I'm coming from a good home. My wife is taking a good care of us at home, and I don't have to worry about that. But I think from Mapule, I would not have been professional with ethical conduct. But importantly, what I've learned from her, women, it's a struggle. During those days, you look at management is dominated by males and all those things. So what I've learned from her, emotional intelligence, learning to observe. Sometimes you just need to say, you know what, you let someone go on, you just observe. You will learn a lot and you'll save a lot of trouble by just doing that. I hope that is something that you can take from this response.
I'm taking that you have there are these values and principles that you've learned from the women, from the prominent women in your life, that you now apply in your workplace and in the way you lead. But I'm interested in how you are passing the baton on to the young men that you meet and that you work with. Let's talk about that, because you have learned all these things. You've had this support. As you're talking, I'm envisioning a three-legged pot that you have support, the foundation from your mom, the support from your wife, and the mentorship that you got, from the workplace. And I'm thinking that you're standing firm as this three-legged pot now. But let's talk about passing it forward, passing the baton to the young men, especially that you meet in your workplace.
Yeah, I think maybe just to extend in terms of my journey, it became easy for me to start tapping into the Institute of Internal Auditors in terms of the Eastern Cape or Border Kaya chapter, where I knew that my position will assist me to drive training and development, will assist me to interact with both young men and young women within the professional space. So, even today, lots of guys, maybe before they go for interviews or they've got an audit that is complex, they're able to reach out to me, say, hey, Mo, we are struggling with these things. How can you best assist? And the fact that I also preach a lot, especially when I do some of these talks in terms of personal branding, it's something that I will always bring in my presentation and all those good things. Also, what you may not always see on the surface is that when you are in that stage, you are able to present content that a lot of people will be able to consume, whether at a professional or personal level. Let me give you an example. I think it was very interesting. 2 weeks after Comrade, I got a message. It was coming from, I won't mention her name. She's like, hey, Moses, you did mention in 2023 that you did Comrade and to Ocean. I was inspired. You may not remember, but on the sidebar, I told you that I will do Comrade in 2 years' time. Guess what? I just competed. I got my medal. And I was so excited. And I was like, wow. I didn't know that a simple talk like that could have such a lasting impact and change someone's health outlook and all those good things. So I think that's quite interesting in how much the ripple effect of what you do over time, which has been influenced by, as I've indicated, my mother, my wife, and Mapule, my mentor.
I can assure you're not getting that from me today. You're not getting that promise from me. You are not gonna get that promise from me. I'll take all the other lessons.
Take it easy. We are very gradual. I'll come and take you from the office and say, can we walk to the garage? It's only half a kilometer. That. Before you know it, we'll walk 5 kilometers.
Okay. Yeah. I like that you are linking this a phased in approach, because you are saying, as you just said, when you were mentioned that in when you are talking in all the stages that you have been in, you make sure that you include everyone, that your talk and whatever it is that you want to convey is able to include the entry level auditee and an executive and an audit committee member, that whatever it is that you're communicating is able to be consumed by all types of people, and therefore even non-comrade runners like me may run one day based on this motivation from you. So, which brings us to the next question, Mr. Mbedhli, that there are all kinds of women. You've got strong women, you've got soft women, we've got quiet and action-oriented women, but there are some often overlooked or underrated virtues. Which of those have you observed that people tend to stereotype women, but they are underlooking or underrating this virtue that you think is a game changer?
This one is quite interesting, and it hits home. I don't know if you met Mapule. She's now a CE at eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality. She's very quiet. She taught me to listen more, like I said earlier, to say observe instead of talking. She says listen more, speak less. And I think that talks to the emotional intelligence that the internal auditor need to have. I mean, if you present findings and you can see the auditee is a bit uncomfortable, is making noise and all those things, be very intelligent about it. Just listen, observe what they are saying. Don't be caught up in that exchange, because at the end of the day, you're not going to achieve the objective of what you want to deliver. So I think and I hope that each and every auditor can learn from that. So, but I think what you also said jokingly, and I'm going to also try to be comical about it. She said to me, an empty drum
makes the loudest.
It's very loud. It's very noisy. She said, but the one that is full, if you go and tap it, you won't hear anything. So she said, do not confuse people that speak a lot with intelligence. There's a lot and lots of wisdom in silence. I hope you get that. There's a lot of wisdom in silence. But the other thing that she said to me, when I go through the turbulence, challenges at work, personally, and all those things, I always reach out to her as my mentor. And she's always saying to me, at the end, Moses, it will be okay. If it's not okay, just remember it's not the end.
It's not the end. Wow.
So those are some of the things that I carry with me when I'm in the space. I go through the bad time. I know it's part of it, because if it's comfortable, then you're not doing things right. It can't be comfortable. It cannot be comfortable. So yeah, I just like that in terms of how she mentor me and take me through all these life challenges. Yeah,
that's true. Composure and calm under pressure is underrated, and it's the one thing that holds everything together. Speaking of time and wisdom, what would you say to the younger Moses, the naughty one? If your younger self mentor, what would you have done differently?
I think, Amanda, I will encourage the young Mo to be very, very naughty, to double what he was doing at that time, in terms of being naughty, in terms of being radical, so that I could have caught the attention of mentors at a much earlier stage. Maybe I was doing it, but I was not doing it to the extent that I got noticed. I think my mentoring, I always want to believe that it came a bit late. Not late, but it came. But if I had it a bit earlier, it would have saved me a bit. But I think it was very necessary for me to go through that, to bend my fingers, to the extent that people like Mapule start to understand, start to notice me, to say, wow, there's a potential in this young man. Let us take him and sort of like counsel and guide him through this journey called life, career in auditing, and all those things. Yeah. So I think I'm blessed. I wouldn't change anything except to say, you know what, go back and give them more, be more notice so that they can notice you much earlier and rescue you from that. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Would you allow me? I'm afraid that you might raise naughty men and boys in the workplace. Would you allow me to rephrase that and say you must stay curious? Is it not perhaps curiosity that people should be curious? And I like what you're saying, you must be noticeable, that people must notice you, not necessarily because of the bad things that you do, but you're someone who's always willing, and your enthusiasm and your curiosity is the one that makes you noticeable. Would I be correct in rephrasing it like that? Or you still sticking with your naughtiness? You want people to be naughty?
Yeah, I think let me agree with it. I think I didn't when you flip the coin to say curiosity, you know, like a kid, we always say, don't touch that, don't do that, don't do this and all those things, you'll get ahead. But we are limiting they are experimenting and all those good things. So I think it's correct. I think for me to be naughty, to push the envelope, you know, to try to, you know, get out of the way, not necessarily comply and all those things. I think it was part of me experimenting, but I think at the end of the day, I needed sort of like a disciplined kind of an approach within the framework that is acceptable and all those good things. Because at the end of the day, we have rules and regulations in our space. We've got values and principles. You can't be going around offending people and saying, no, I'm just curious. So I think that's what comes in. But yeah, correct. I think we should encourage people to be more curious and all those,
Yeah, that's what leads to innovation. That's what leads to innovation. I think especially in the audit space, we need more curious, you know, youngsters who are willing to push the envelope, as you put it. Mr. Mbedhli, thank you so much for your time. It has been insightful. You have honored the women in your life. You've been taught well. You knew how to put it in order. You know, you mentioned your mother, you know, you mentioned your wife continues to sacrifice so that you can continue in your career. You mentioned your mentor who continues to mentor you even now as you are in the position that you are at. We thank you so much for your time. We've learned so much from you, that impact and influence is often it has a ripple effect. I think you kept on saying that the things that you have learned, even as a curious young mom, are the very things. It's just that you have been fortunate in that you have been molded by mentors, by your mom, and guided you towards a more positive impact and influence. And we thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. And I also want to appreciate you and say, thank you so much and keep on.
Thank you so much.